first round stoppage for the problem child. He told us round 2, but he delivered it 1 round earlier. Outstanding performance from Jake Paul.
Man, Jake set that up with some good offense, jabbing up top, jabbing to the body. That was a perfect setup, man.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix. Yep, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say in 2024. But here we are living in a timeline where a YouTuber can face off against a boxing legend, and it somehow makes perfect sense.
Main event of the evening, an 8-round test in the cruiserweight division. Let's get ready to rumble!
Sure, the match was officially set for November 15th, but in classic Netflix fashion, they decided to drop the Edge Showdown early, because who needs a normal release schedule when you have Jake Paul in the mix?
On the planet, KO punchers of all times, the 2-time heavyweight world champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson!
Don't tell me you were living under a rock from day one and missed it. The fight already happened. And this isn't just some overhyped countdown to a future event that's being milked for all it's worth. Nope, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson has already gone down at the iconic AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas.
Highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has a new date. They'll face off in AT&T Stadium on November.
And of course, Netflix will be rolling out this event in a couple of weeks. But right now, you get the privilege of knowing every bit of wild action that made this fight legendary before the rest of the world does.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Yo.
And let's be real, the buzz for this clash was ridiculous. It felt like every single person on the planet had an opinion, and nobody could shut up about it. You had Jake Paul, the social media sensation turned wannabe boxing king, hyping himself up louder than ever. The guy practically strutted into the press conferences, running his mouth, and making everyone question if he'd finally taken one too many hits to the ego. And then there was Mike Tyson, the myth, the legend, the human wrecking ball, who even at 58 still manages to strike fear into people. Just by smiling, Tyson showed up like he was about to turn the ring into his personal playground, ready to remind everyone that a legend never really fades. The guy has a presence that can make even the cockiest of challengers sweat. So you had these two polar opposites, Jake, the flashy loudmouth disruptor, and Tyson, the silent storm, both standing under the blinding lights of one of the biggest stadiums in the world.
To play and handle the Mike Tyson thing correctly, because the visuals were bad. And when you're dealing in a world of optics, it's very relevant. And Tyson versus Paul would likely be on July 20th. It would likely be on had they not put out the fake press release in the first place. When they put out this watered down, dumb press release.
And believe me, the words alone carry weight, but seeing Mike Tyson live in the flesh at 58, that's a whole other universe. Seriously, Tyson walks into the arena, and it's like someone hit a switch, and the air just gets heavier. His muscles are still chiseled and freakishly defined, like he's some sort of Greek god who refused to acknowledge things like aging or gravity. Yeah, the guy's 58 on paper, but one glance at him, and you'd be convinced he's been marinating in some kind of time-defying elixir. Put this in, and he definitely has some power. Trust me, he didn't just roll out of bed and hope for the best. No, Tyson was grinding it out in the gym like his life depended on it, bringing all that old school brutality mixed with some high-tech training wizardry. We're talking crazy state-of-the-art workouts, sparring that would leave even hardened fighters wincing, and drills that had seasoned coaches raising their eyebrows. Music. 10 days, baby, 10 days. Now think about the contrast. Jake Paul's been out there living his best influencer life, vlogging, pranking, and stirring up drama like the internet's favorite chaos magnet. Meanwhile, Tyson's been locked in beast mode, laser focused, and transforming himself with an intensity you'd expect from a dude half his age. This wasn't just about getting ripped. Tyson's power was still there, that bone-crunching force that put so many opponents.
Ten days, baby. 10 days.
In fact, experts were whispering that this older, more refined Tyson was somehow even scarier, that his punches were now surgical strikes, still packed with enough devastation to end a fight before you could even blink. Jake and his camp clearly they hadn't prepared for just how terrifying that could be. And then there was Tyson's headspace. It was a total reinvention, a mental overhaul. He was calm, focused, and downright relentless. It was like he had one singular purpose, etched into his very soul: destruction. Every single move, every subtle gesture, every second leading up to the bell told you this man was here for blood, defeated the problem child. No time for the flashy antics or social media drama. Jake was busy being the showman. But Tyson, he was the warrior, and his demeanor said it all as he stood there, a still deadly presence in his corner. The entire stadium felt the chill. It was the same aura that used to make grown men crumble before he even threw a punch. But let's not act like Jake Paul wasn't ready to put on a show. Round one comes alive, and Jake comes flying out like a tornado, arms swinging and confidence sky high. He's fast, really fast, and you can tell he's been working on this. He's bouncing around loose and cocky, using every advantage his youth and height give him. His footwork was quick, and those jabs were snapping out with purpose, trying to keep Tyson at a distance, as if he was thinking, yeah, I got this. He wasn't just throwing random punches. He was strategic, determined to prove he wasn't just some loudmouth content creator pretending to be a boxer. And for a hot second it looked like he might just pull it off. The crowd ate it up, roaring every time he landed a punch, convinced they were about to witness Jake pull off the impossible. Tyson, he looked almost too calm, like a lion observing a cocky young cub, one who hasn't yet learned what the jungle is really about. Jake's hits connected, the noise was deafening, and you'd almost believe he had this fight in the bag. Almost he was landing shots, using his reach, moving like he'd mastered the art of being the aggressor. But Tyson's eyes were telling a completely different story. Next voice, next voice. Those eyes, if you've ever watched Tyson in his prime, you know that look. He was studying Jake, reading him like an open book, calculating, waiting for that one perfect opening. This